Hello everyone. This is week 3. We're going to talk about business success. When I'm saying business success, you should not directly think of the real business as such. I'm also talking about the different areas where your role could be different and you'll be looking at it from the business point of view. For example, if you are a writer, whether you're a fiction writer or a non-fiction writer, or you are a poet, how you can think from a business point of view. What makes you a successful writer? That is also one of the perspective, a kind of business perspective that we may call it. So, talking about the business success, whether that be in writing or in real business, what defines successful business or what defines business success is something that we will talk about in this week. So, whether you have an organization you run in, or you have a store or a shop, or you are a writer or a literary writer, you always have to think of the audience. When I'm saying audience can be defined in terms of consumers, in terms of customers, depending upon your role. If you are a writer, you'll be thinking of an audience all the time. If you are a businessman or business person, then you always be thinking of your consumers. Okay, but again, directly or indirectly, they are your audience. So that would be your goal, reaching out to your audience. And again, communication is another important element if you are thinking of your successful business. If you want to be a great writer, or if you want to be a great business person, then communication really plays a key role here, pivotal role. Because if you fail to communicate properly, then you will not be able to reach out to many people out there. And also you should know how to appreciate the audience. What audience wants, what audience demands. In your writing, if it is a writing, even your writing, if you are not respectful of your audience, your readers, let's say that way, in your writing, then your reader might not be interested in reading your work. Similarly, if they are your consumers or customers, if you do not appreciate them, then they will not be coming to your place to purchase items, right? So look at that. You can relate here. That's how we can look at things from the business point of view. So that is what I meant business success. So these are some of the elements. Similarly, respect the cultural differences. Again, if you are a business person, you might end up dealing with many people coming from different socio-cultural background. Similarly, if you write something, then you will not know, who would be reading your work. There might be, because the world is so globalized, there might be so many people across the world coming from so many socio-cultural differences. So you need to be very cognizant of that. You need to be very aware of that. And your writing should respect that, the cultural differences. So you should be always mindful of the choice of words, the diction you use, whether that be in writing or that be in your verbal communications if you are a business person and dealing with people out there. And again, understand the demand of the product also. For example, if you are a writer, you always need to think that, if you want to be, if you really just want to write for the sake of writing, you will not have to worry about all these things. But if you really want to be a much sellable writer or reach out to many readers out there and really want to be popular and sellable, then you need to know the demand of the product. What is the product that the readers want to read? There was an article I posted to Georgia View. That's a kind of long research article. What kind of genres of literature are written more or published more, and what the readers read more? What kind of genre is written by female writers and male writers more? That is something the research about is what I have posted to Georgia View. So you might want to read that as well. I think if you read it, you will have a kind of much clearer vision. So if you understand the product, for example, these days people want to read fictions more than non-fictions. And also non-fictions are mostly written by male writers. One of the research that was done in the US, that is what it shows. And also, there are very few, limited, out of thousands of copies published every year, there are very limited, around 500 copies are turn out to be a bestseller. The works, fictional work or non-fictional work. So again, there are, romantic fictions are mostly written by female writers. That's what the research shows. So who is your reader? Who is your audience? And what kind of products that, they are looking for? What kind of work they are looking for? That is something you need to always know. Whether that you be in the business or you be in the field of writing. Okay. And again, you need to know. I mean, I'm talking about whether that's a work of literature or even if it is a business writing. Because if you are, writing that has something to do with business, for example, memo letters or resume or business letter, whatever you are writing, you always be thinking of your particular audience as well, and the choice of words. You appreciate your reader and you communicate properly. These are the things which come into play when we talk about business success, whether that in writing or in real business as well. So know the most sellable genre as an item. That's what I'm saying, that if you are a writer and if you want to really establish and reach out to many audience and the readers out there, then what kind of genre they're looking for and what that genre demands, what type of item. The same thing applies to your to you if you are a business person, or if you have a store. Simply, if you have a store in the market, and then what the consumers, the customers are looking for, what kind of items they are demanding more, right? So these are some of the things that you need to know, to be successful, whether in writing or whether in real business, or when it comes to business writing as well. So think that, symbolically or allegorically or literally, based on those elements that we have discussed here so far. So going back to what we will be doing this week as part of your assignments here is what I'm going to show you here very, very quickly. So this week, here are a couple of the readings here for you, and for the readings as well. You can read them and have a much better understanding of what is business success and what makes your book successful. And when it comes to your business, the real business as such, what would be your roles and responsibilities as well. So those are the things that you want to learn. And then talking about the assignments this week, you will have 2 discussion questions. Based on those 2 discussion questions here, you have I'm going to show you very quickly here. One of the discussion questions you have here is okay, it's kind of a slow here, my internet, but anyway. So what do we mean by business success? How are business books different from fiction and non-fiction books in terms of business success? Also, you must respond to your peers. Make sure that you must respond to your peers. So this is one of the questions. Another question that I will perhaps you might need a little bit of clarification here, that I'm gonna show. Another question here is that you will read the chapters using the 2 different links below and discuss what difference you find between them in terms of how they communicate, sender, message, receiver, and business success. So here is the link for you. So go to this link, and this link and then wait a little bit, and then it will it will open to a book chapter. Okay, so read the book chapter there, a few pages. One is from E.B. White's Charlotte's Web, and another is from The Woman and the Sea. So after you read the few pages from each book, then explain what differences you find in terms of how they communicate. Who is the sender? Who is the author? Who is the writer? Sometimes the writer, the narrator. A narrator could be an old person, or could be a child, or could be a female narrator, right? So who is the narrator and what kind of message that the chapter, the story is communicating, and who is the audience for that particular that work, that work of fiction. So sometimes the reader could be children, sometimes the reader could be adult, right? So based on that, who could be the audience? So how the message is communicated, how successful you see these two books in terms of communicating masses and in terms of their sellability, okay, reaching out to the audience. So discuss that, okay, based on the readings, and then so the differences. So these are the two different discussion questions you'll be addressing this week. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you very much.